everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today is super exciting because today we're going to be playing with a bunch of new Anastasia Beverly Hills products. Anastasia Beverly Hills was kind enough to send me their spring collection. The only things out of this collection that I have touched so far are the lipsticks, which are all really beautiful. And my favorite lipstick in this collection is this one right here, and this one is called Bohemian. So what I'm thinking for today is that I'm going to try to build a look around this lipstick. I don't have nearly enough room around my desk right now to have all of the boxes of everything just laying around, but we're also going to be using the Amreezy highlighter, the Soft Glam palette, and one of the new bronzers. And real quick, I do want to get this out of the way. So in December and January, I did talk about having an upload schedule for February. So the beginning of this year, I really started to take my health and fitness goals seriously again. So working 8 hours a day, then coming home and filming, and then trying to get to sleep on time so I can get up at 5 in the morning and get to the gym, it does really kind of get tough, and trying to balance all of that is not really doable all the time. If there's anything that I've learned from being on social media for so long, it's that progress comes and goes. Social media is definitely not a stable thing, and you never really know what's going to happen with it. But something that you do know for certain is that you need to take care of yourself. My personal goals are definitely taking a front seat to everything else, because I feel like those are just more important right now. So anyway, I might not be posting as much as I thought I was going to be, but I'm still going to at least try to post once a week. Alright guys, I'm going to go do my brows off camera real quick, and I will be right back. So for foundation today, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation in the shade Classic Ivory. And I'm just going to dump a little bit of that on my hand, or a lot of bit of that on my hand. And I'm just going to apply that with a damp beauty blender. Considering how much I absolutely hated the Dewy and Smooth foundation, I'm so shocked that I actually love this one. But this is a solid drugstore foundation, man. My beauty blender definitely sucks this up, so I put more on the back of my hand, and I'm putting that on my ears and running it down my neck too. And for concealer today, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, but I'm going to mix medium light with light neutral just because I want it a little bit darker than I have been going with my concealer. So I am taking medium light and just dotting that around my under eye area. I've been kind of wanting a concealer that matches my foundation just a little bit better. And now taking light neutral, I'm just kind of filling in the gaps a little bit. And with light neutral, I'm going to put some of that on my chin and around my nose as well. And I'm going to blend that out with the same beauty blender I used for my foundation. I like this combination a lot better because it doesn't look super unnaturally bright. And to set all that, I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in Light. And one more time with my damp beauty blender, I'm just going to press that into everywhere that I put down concealer. I very rarely use any powder that's not translucent powder, and I'm becoming a believer in this. My friend got this powder, and then she texted everyone in our group chat and was like, y'all need to get this powder, so I did, and she was not wrong. So the first shade that I'm going to pick up is this shade right here, and this is Orange Soda. And dipping into this palette, there is some kickback, but there's not a crazy amount of kickback like there was in Subculture. And I'm just using this as a light transition shade. I've always loved Orange Soda. I can't remember which palette it was in first, but it was just a favorite, you know? And this is a super light color on me, but I feel like it's good as a transition shade, especially for a softer look using this palette. And to deepen that up, I'm going to dip into Sienna. And that one definitely had a lot more kickback to it than Orange Soda did, but it's not crazy. I'm not going to say that it's an insane amount of kickback, because it's not. I am just going to take that a little bit lower into my crease. On Norvina's Twitter, she did say that she's going to go back to the Modern Renaissance formula for this one, and, you know, I'm 2 shades in, which I feel like isn't enough to really make a determination on how much I love the palette, but I can definitely tell with this formula that it is not that Subculture formula. This is blending out really well and is giving me an easy time to work with. And I'm just building that up and making it nice and soft. Now the Sienna shade is going on darker than I thought it would, but I don't think that's going to be a problem for the next shade I'm going to use. So now I'm going to dip into Mulberry. I'm going to put that lower in my crease. And I'm keeping this on the outer part of my eye. I honestly wasn't too sure what I wanted to achieve by using this shade, but I'm really happy I picked it up. It's like a kind of a reddish brown color. And I'm packing that on the outer part of my eye and blending that out. This is seriously performing so well and I'm super excited about it. Like this is really great. I'm going back in with that brush that I used for Sienna and I'm just blending that out a little bit more. And so far with this, there's been no fallout, which is awesome, especially since I did my foundation first, you know. And I'm taking a little bit more orange soda and just going over everything just to diffuse it a little bit more. On my eyelid, I'm taking a little bit of concealer on a shader brush and just kind of going over the lid part of my eye. I want the shimmery shades that I'm going to use on my lid to show up more. And I got little teeny tiny eyes, so I gotta kind of clean it up a little bit. The first shade that I'm going to use is the one right here called Rose Pink. And I'm applying this dry over unset concealer just to see if it performs dry. And this is such a pretty shade. There is a tiny bit of fallout with this shade, but it is not anything crazy at all. I'm just going back over that one more time and pressing some of that Rose Pink onto my lid. And now I'm taking this shade right here called Sultry. And I'm just packing that on the outer part of my lid and blending it into that Rose Pink a little bit. This shade does have a little bit more fallout than the Rose Pink, but it's not too bad. And to deepen that up a little bit, I'm going to take some Mulberry and Noir and just work that into my outer crease just a little bit. And I'm going to take a little bit of Mulberry and just blend over top of that just a little bit. For my brow bone highlight, I'm going to take this shade right here called Glistening. And I'm just popping this right underneath my brow bone. So for my lower lash line, I am taking some of that Sienna shade and just running that all the way across. So as a palette, I really liked Prism. And, you know, it's a holiday palette, so those shades were kind of out there, and I feel like you almost had to expect that. But this has got to be my favorite palette that Anastasia has come out with outside of Modern Renaissance. This definitely feels like you're using Modern Renaissance, and I absolutely love that because Modern Renaissance was such an amazing palette to work with. So now I'm taking a little bit of Mulberry and working that even closer to my lower lash line and keeping that on the outer part of my eye. I feel like with like all of my looks, this is going to look a lot better once I put lashes on. And last but not least, I am taking a tiny, tiny bit of Noir and just running that right there on the outer part of my eye. And for my inner corner highlight, I'm taking this shade right here called Fairy. And I am just popping that right there on my inner corner for a super pretty gold highlight. And for my lower lash line, I'm using this pencil from Makeup Geek called Space. Alright guys, I'm going to go finish this other eye off camera real quick and pop on some lashes and I will be right back. So I am super excited about this Amreezy highlight, so I'm going to go in with that first. This is seriously so pretty, I don't even want to touch it. And I'm taking that on a dry Anastasia A23 brush and just applying that to the high points of my face. This is seriously really, really pretty. This doesn't melt into the skin like I would typically like for a highlighter, but it's honestly so glowy and pretty that I don't really mind. So the two bronzers in this collection that I think would work for me the best are this one right here called Rosewood and also this one right here called Tawny. I think for this tutorial though, I'm going to go with Rosewood because it's a little warmer and lighter. And I have not tried this, so I have no idea how much is going to come off the brush right away, so I'm just knocking off the excess first. I'm just going in with a fluffy powder brush and running that alongside my highlighter. I'm going to put a little bit on my forehead too to warm my forehead up. I would definitely say this bronzer is buildable, which I like in a bronzer. Not a ton comes off the brush at once, which is nice. And for blush, I'm going to use the Anastasia Radiant Blush Kit, and I am going to use this shade right here called Breeze. And like I said in my last video, I am making a commitment to not going crazy with blush anymore. I'm just putting this higher up on my cheeks, further back instead of towards the front. And with that same brush that I applied my bronzer with, I'm just kind of going over that just to soften it up a little bit. And for lipstick, I'm going to use one of the new Anastasia lipsticks, and this is in the shade Bohemian. Alright guys, and this is the finished look. So I apologize I wasn't incredibly talkative in this video. It's been a super long week and I just really wanted to get a tutorial up and let you know what I thought of the palette because I got it in the mail today and this is brand new, so I wanted to share with you all. The Soft Glam palette gets a 9 out of 10 from me, and the only reason I docked it a point is because yes, it is kind of powdery. However, this performs like modern renaissance. The shadows are so good. The quality is fantastic. I seriously think only Anastasia Beverly Hills can get me excited for a neutral palette, so I love this and I cannot recommend it enough. This performs great. And this is coming from someone who does not like working with subculture, so I definitely recommend this palette. I really believe that this palette's the OG modern renaissance formula. So that's my 2 cents on that. The Amreezy highlighter is a really nice highlighter, and I have said this before about highlighters that I like. I prefer more of a second skin kind of highlighter, and when I applied it with a brush, it kind of applied a little bit powdery, but when I applied this with my finger on the back of my hand, it applied a lot softer, so I think when I use this next time, I'm going to try my finger over a brush. But I will be totally honest, I do completely understand why people are losing their shit over this highlighter. It is a super glowy, super nice highlighter. I love the Hoola Benefit bronzer, but I feel like this is going to be my go-to bronzer from now on. I love the Anastasia blushes and I love their highlighters, and I feel like they really knocked it out of the park with this bronzer. This bronzer is super buildable, and that's something I really love about it because I feel like with a lot of bronzers, you kind of touch it to your face and you just have a ton of it in one spot. This is not the case with this one, so again, recommend. And finally, the lipsticks. I feel like with Anastasia lipsticks, they are kind of drying. It is by no means uncomfortably dry, but if you're gonna wear this out, I'm noticing that on the inner part of my lip, it is flaking away, so that's something you have to kind of take into consideration with Anastasia lipsticks in general, because I have found that they all kind of tend to do that. But I am seriously in love with all these shades. Like, even if it is a little bit drying, I think it's worth it. These shades are gorgeous. This is the only thing in the collection that I have swatched all of. I have swatched all of these lipsticks and I do recommend them. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I'll be back before the month is over. I'm going to Connecticut next week to have some much needed girl time with some friends, so that's going to be awesome. But I do have another palette that I want to film and review, so hopefully that'll be up at the beginning of next week, if not end of next week. Alright guys, if you like this video and you want to, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That would be awesome. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching and I will see you all in the next one.